Hi guys, it's Raya from CFS Health here. Just a quick video today, something that isn't anything new. It's something that you all know, and sometimes it's just about having those little reminders. So this video today is 5 tips to help make outings or events that little bit easier or that little bit less tolling. So it ties in with the spoon theory, the credit system, the pacing principle, listening to your body, all of those sort of things. And it's definitely something all of you know, but sometimes we need those gentle reminders, or sometimes we need to give these gentle reminders to loved ones and those around us to remind us to do these sort of things, or also know what we need to do in sort of preparation for events and that sort of thing. So it's sort of outings in terms of medical appointments or social situations. As we know, there's a lot of the time that we do have things or responsibilities or things that we want to do that take a lot of energy, and sometimes that's out of our control, so we want to be able to make it as easy as possible or as less tolling as possible. So number 1 is rest beforehand. So that's something that I've spoken with you about before in terms of the idea of that precautionary rest. So resting before you are too fatigued, or kind of fully recharging as much as possible before that particular event, so that you know that you're not running on empty before going out. So resting as much beforehand. The bigger the event, obviously the more rest you're going to need, but even those smaller outings that or that we perceive to be those smaller outings, you do need to rest and recharge a little bit beforehand as well. So just another reminder to rest and to justify that rest as well. Okay, so the next one is actually plan the outing. Tip number 2 is plan the outing. Look at, for instance, if you're one who's working with the spoon theory or the credits, look at how many credits it's going to take, or look at how big the event is or outing is, and what you can do to lessen the intensity, or what you can do to make it as easy or as less tolling as the body as possible. So how can you make it less fatiguing? So do you need to get there a little bit earlier so that you can sit down and take a few deep breaths? Do you need to give yourself a time limit? So I know a lot of us, we tend to get carried away in social situations, and it's not until we're feeling really flat that we realize that we should probably leave. So sometimes it's good to go, okay, well, I'm only going to stay for an hour, and sometimes it's about setting that timer and reminding yourself to check in with how you're feeling, to make sure that you're not pushing and crashing without fully realizing. So that's another really good one, is when you are doing outings, make sure to check in with how you're feeling and what you can do for how you are feeling, okay? So tip number 3 is make sure you're working it around your food times. So making sure that you take snacks with you, or that you have snacks or lunch or breakfast or whatever it may be beforehand, so that your body has the fuel to get you through it. As we know, a CFS body struggles to produce its own energy, so it needs it from your food. And if you're running on empty food-wise, then your body's going to be running on empty as a whole. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 ties in with that. Make sure that you have water and that you carry a water bottle with you always. A CFS body dehydrates easier, as standard events are much fatiguing on the body than a normal body. So you will dehydrate a little bit easier, and it's important to take that into consideration, that sometimes it's just as simple as having a water bottle with you, okay, and making sure that you're assisting your body in getting through whatever the outing or event may be. Okay, and lastly, it's important to remember that you are going to have things that are above your baseline or above your capabilities, or your comfort zones within how your body's feeling, and knowing that you are human, you are going to have to push and crash here and there. Sometimes it'll be for fun things like socializing and events. Other times it will be for medical appointments and that sort of thing. So make sure that you relax, you breathe, you calm your system down as much as possible. You try make the event feel as small as possible so that you're not stressing too much. And especially with the social side of things, make sure that you do get to enjoy yourself. So if it is something that you're choosing to do, so catching up with a friend, going out for a cuppa or something like that, make sure that you give yourself time to actually enjoy it, and remind yourself that you deserve to have fun, you deserve to smile. This illness sucks and it does take a lot away from you, so remind yourself to enjoy the little things where possible. And also remind yourself to just calm your system down as much as possible. So deep breaths, sometimes it helps to meditate before or after or even during certain events and that sort of thing. So if you're sitting in the doctor's and you're getting quite stressed, take a few deep breaths and maybe do some mindfulness and see if that helps you get through it. Okay, so those are your 5 tips for today. I know it's nothing new, but it is something that does help the events, and it does potentially minimize some of that payback that may come from it. But I think the biggest one to take away is that don't be self-critical when you are pushing and crashing. You're human, you are going to, and sometimes you're going to have to as well. So be kind to yourself, know that you assist your body as best you can throughout, and make sure that you obviously rest on the other side of things too, and justify the amount of rest you need, and realize that a chronically fatigued body is going to need rest with events and that sort of thing. So the biggest reminder is be kind to yourself throughout it as well, and remind yourself to minimize some of that negative self-talk, and celebrate those little wins here and there, and be kind to yourself. Okay, so I hope this video has helped. If anything, might be good to give to a loved one so that they can see that little things here and there do help, and obviously little things here and there can hinder as well. Something as simple as you not having a snack can make you feel much worse than anyone could even realize if they're not in that situation or going through what you're going through. So sometimes it might help to show someone else what things help get you through it, and also for them to keep you accountable as well. So there are plenty more videos on our YouTube channel. There is a video on precautionary rest, which I did mention, and the 10 credits, the golden rules, all of that sort of thing. But you will be seeing plenty more videos from us. So have a lovely day, guys. I'll see you soon.